Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the live stream. And on tonight's episode, have we got a lot to talk about. So, if you guys are new to the channel and have not yet got a chance to get subscribed, go ahead and get subscribed for more content. Be sure to turn on all those beautiful bell notifications so therefore you won't miss out on any news, updates, and much more as it comes out here on the channel. Also, with that being said, I do in fact have the chats. I do have the chats open. All is open as well. Please be respectful to myself, my moderators, and all my viewers because, once again, negativity on this channel will not be tolerated at any given time. With that being said, and without further ado, let's go ahead and dive on into it. So, most of you may already know that I have officially started a countdown for iOS 27. And so far, it's their projected release date is supposed to be coming out September 14th. So again, I have all this stuff already added up. I have all this stuff already added up, and I will show you guys right here. So hang on a second, ladies and gentlemen. Shrink this down a little bit. So I'm not sure if you guys can actually see this or not, but if you can't, let me know in the chats. So this right here, we're right now is the 25th on a Tuesday. So count these 2 days up here. There's one, there's two, and week number 3. So that will be their projected release date will be out coming on a Monday. So unless something was to happen to where they actually had to set that off for a later date, I don't think that that would be likely. But their projected release date is for September 14th. However, there is in fact going to be over 150 new different changes made to iOS. So I'm not gonna go through all 150 different items at that point. So again, this is the initial countdown for that time. So if something does happen or if something is set to be postponed, I will definitely keep you guys up to date, let you guys know what's going on with that here in the near future. Anyway, I am also going to be getting back into PC tech and stuff like that. So if you guys are in fact having issues with you're getting something called the blue screen of death, there are 4 different measures to go from, and we'll talk about that also here on the live stream. So I digress with the iOS 27. So now if you are in fact facing the blue screen of death issues with your PC, it could be one of 4 things. It could be software, it could be your drivers, it could be not so much installed apps, but it could be just plenty of other issues. It could be RAM. Something in your RAM may not be up to date, or you probably have a driver that's out of date, or it could be your operating system that could be in in that same category. Or, again, ladies and gentlemen, it could be a driver issue. It is a very simple fix. I did in fact go through most of that, but I am still learning more as I'm going along and trying to figure out ways to resolve the issue on a much easier basis. I ended up having to remove the last live stream that I made because unfortunately my computer did not upload the video. However, more towards the end of the live stream, it said upcoming. So there is a minor technical issue that I'm having with that. So until I can get that officially addressed and get that taken care of, I don't know if this video is going to upload or not. So again, I definitely do want to apologize for any inconveniences. But for some odd reason, that's what happened on last week's, or not last week's, but I did say last week. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. That's what happened on the last live stream. So I just thought that I would keep everyone up to date with that and let you guys know what's going on there. So again, I definitely do want to apologize for any inconveniences. I did not know that until I ended the last live stream and went through my analytics and live content. So that was something that I was completely left in the dark with. And I tried my absolute best to try to get this up and going to where it could upload. But evidently, I did not have those options. So I'm going to take this day by day and see what exactly I can do and try to do everything I can to get those videos to upload. Now, if I have to do it manually, then I guess that will be the alternative route that I'll end up having to take until I can get everything back up and successfully back on track. Right now, I'm actually learning how to code and recode computers. So this is very interesting. So if I have to basically go back in and recode my whole entire system, just note for the records, that's probably what I'm going to end up having to do, especially with a low-end computer. But hopefully right now I won't have to do that because the blue screen of death is something that does happen with computers. If something is not reading, it's basically not running accurately. That doesn't mean that that there's something exactly wrong with your computer. It's just something that's wrong with the program, which can be simply fixed. Something is either not up to date or something is not running in conjunction with whatever the case may be. So either it's a RAM that could be out of sync. It could be your operating system. It could be your drivers, or just basically something conflicting with something else in your computer. But you can also go in and find out exactly what is causing the issue and address it. You can also revert back to a previous driver if it is a driver issue. Now with your RAM stick, you may have installed something that's that your RAM is not able to process adequately. Or it could be something else. Or it could be a memory issue. Your memory could be extremely full, and that could also cause an issue with your blue screen of death. And we just got somebody that just popped in. Welcome to the live stream. And whoever just popped in, you can also join the chats if you like. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe I have listed all 4 issues with the computer, and it looks like we have Dawn Jones in the chats. Welcome to the live stream, sis. And ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know that we do have moderators in the chats, so please be respectful to them as well. Be kind, be courteous, because disrespecting people on this live stream will not, in fact, be tolerated at all. There is a 0 tolerance for disrespectfulness. So please be respectful to everyone on here, including myself, because I would hate to have to kick somebody off the stream. And looks like we have Carol in chats. How's everyone doing tonight? So as most of you may or may not know, I am also getting into computer coding, because a computer basically is basically what a computer reads is nothing but a block of code, which is basically a series of numbers, ones and zeros. So in case you you have no idea what I'm talking about, this might be a little over your head, maybe a little beyond your comprehension. And if so, I will try to explain everything the best I can. So now when it comes to computers, let me turn this sideways. I'm learning something about what computers do. Modulus example. Modulus is basically kind of like a mathematical type thing. Like, for example, if I can get this up. I'm also learning the strings and all this, that, and the other. That's basically your, well, let me see if I can pull up an example of strings on here. And then you got variables, which is stuff like this right here. These are all variables. Then we'll get to this here in just a moment. This is just a series of So I, once again, am learning the different basic fundamentals of computer coding. This is something that's probably going to take me a while to be able to pick up, because I'm also studying this type of stuff here on my own time. So that's just pretty much a taste of what I have right now. And I think I might know the issue that's going on with your computer, sis. It may not be something internal. I think I might be able to fix that issue for you. It could be your memory, it could be your RAM stick, it could be your drivers, or it could be your operating system. So there's one of four things that I could look into. But as far as everything else goes, this is exactly what is going on right now. And PSAs and stuff like that. And before you ask, hey, everybody wake out here. I hope so. I hope I'm just not popping in people's dreams and be like, hey, I got my coffee. Because that's something I do not do. I'm not going to put that on my resume either. So basically what it comes down to is the simple fact is if you have issues with your computer, it may not be an internal component issue, but sometimes it could be. Now, if you're consistently pressing down on your power button and you're not seeing anything light up, yes, I have my coffee. So if you're sitting there pressing down on your power button and your computer display, your monitor is not lighting up at all, that could be a backlight issue or that could be a power issue. Try to plug in your computer and wait approximately 10 to 15 seconds and then try your power button again. If it lights up, that means you possibly have a dead battery. But always make sure that your computer is plugged in and make sure that everything is up and going. A few days ago, my whole entire computer, my whole screen just went completely black. I could not get it up and going. So I plugged it in and found out that found out that my battery in my PC was dead because I did not have the damn thing charged up. So I could pretty much sit back and kind of laugh about that myself. I'm not exactly laughing at myself, I'm laughing at the situation. So that's that's pretty much what was going on there. Now your computer also has something else called safe mode. That's where you basically press in and hold on your power button. If your computer starts up, shuts off, starts up, shuts off, starts up and shuts off the third time and starts back up again, your PC will in fact start in safe mode. I do not recommend that currently at this time. If you have an issue with your PC, just let it sit there for a minute, or just let it sit there. I'll take a look at it. If I can fix it, fantastic. I will be more than willing to help you guys fix this issue with your PC if I'm in the surrounding area. So again, that will be at no additional cost. But if you guys if you guys decide to compensate me for that, that's totally your choice. I'm not going to turn that down. So I definitely want to make sure that your computer is up and running to its full potential. So that's exactly what I'm. You're absolutely welcome. Uh-oh. Oh, we'll talk about that one here in a little bit. So, um, I can't guarantee that your computer will be fully functional, but again, I will definitely take a look at that. And if it's something that I know for a fact I can fix, I'll try to get you back up and running, back to its original. And by the way, there is a trip set, there is a trip scheduled as soon as I'm able to do so. I am definitely going to be bringing along with me this right here in case I have to install Windows 10 on a prior computer. And then from there, I will install Windows 11. After 30 days of installing Windows 11, all Windows 10 files will be deleted because that's pretty much exactly how long Windows 11 will respond back to Windows 10. So if you do, in fact, like Windows 11 a lot better than Windows 10, once I install this, I will push this through, install Windows 10, go back in, remove previous updates and all that good shit too. And once I do all that, then I will install Windows 11. But after Windows 11 has been initially installed successfully into the computer, after the 30-day mark, everything from Windows 10 will convert over to Windows 11, and Windows 11 will delete all of Windows 10 files. So it's basically a conversion. They'll convert right over to Windows 11. But also, note for the record, I'm going to do one better than that. I'm also going to look for BitLocker's information in those computers. So if you ever do happen to run across a BitLocker recovery screen and you need that 48-digit PIN, I will definitely get a copy of that. And if I take a picture of it, I will send that directly to your device. So therefore, that'll save you the time and trouble from having to go into your Microsoft account and try to match those numbers with your direct version of the previous installed, or not the previous installed, but that right there will actually go, that right there will help you guys as much as possible to do that, because I am also on a separate, I'm paying for a separate service, but if I have to use that service as an alternative, I can use that service there to get your computers back up and running back to its full potential. So no need to worry there. Hopefully by the time it's all said and done, everybody's PC will be back up and running, if not good as new, very close to it. So hopefully everybody's systems will be restored. But if in fact you're running Windows 11, I also have one that also has Windows 11 in it as well. It's an updated version, but I may have to run some updates. Your BIOS may possibly do an update as well. So the first thing I'm going to look for is BitLocker recovery screen before I decide to before I run any updates and so forth. I'm not going to have to mess with the BIOS, which is good news. But there are people that is switching over to Linux. Little FYI for you. Linux operating system, which I've basically talked about this in past videos, stuff like that, but I don't know if the founder of Linux has actually found a way to block AI, but just to let y'all know that AI is in fact making major headlines, and I'm not all for AI at all. So just thought I'd let you guys know that if you were to in fact choose Linux, or if you chose Steam's operating system, which is basically ran by Valve. Valve does have all rights to Steam, the operating system. You're gonna have to have a 32 gig thumb drive like this, or whichever model this comes in, 32 gigs or better. You're definitely going to want to download either Linux or Steam's operating system directly onto a thumb drive, because if your computer does a BIOS update, your BIOS will not recognize that. And once that deletes that file, you're probably going to lose a lot of data. So just be made well aware of that. Because your BIOS only has Windows installation in it. But if you try to alter that by adding another operating system to it, your BIOS will not recognize that at all. So sorry about the background ambience. That's something I can't help right now. I don't officially have a headset. I am looking into getting a different headset. So once I get my other computer, that PC will be a lot better than HP. So that is in the makings, and pretty soon I will be back up, and I'm gonna have to get my YouTube switched over to my other computer as well. So I'm gonna have to sign into my Google account, which I'm obviously gonna have issues with that. That's to be expected. So anytime you switch computers, you're always gonna have an issue with Google. You're probably gonna have issues with not so much the YouTube aspect, but when it comes to switching computers, you're more than likely going to have a Google issue. So once you get past the Google stage and all that garbage, I don't think you'll have a problem signing back into your Google account, as long as you have your as long as you have your email, password, stuff like that. You should be good to go. But I don't think you guys will have an issue with that. It's going to be an issue of my own. So tonight's live stream, that was pretty much doing an official countdown for the new iOS that's going to be released. And also with FaceTime, one of the biggest changes that's going to be made to iOS 27 is FaceTime. So if you're FaceTiming someone and you're wanting to show somebody something different on iOS, you're not going to have to take your phone and just turn it, do this, because this camera up here that's built in your screen will work, and the camera back here will both work at the same time, which basically you're going to have a split screen right here. One for your front cam, the other one for your rear cam. So you'll basically have both displays going at the exact same time in real time. So I, in fact, had to reset most of my I didn't have to factory reset my device, but I had to reset my settings, or all settings. So I didn't lose anything specifically. So if you ever have any issues with your device, feel free to get a hold of me and let me know exactly what type of issues that you're having. I'll be able to walk you through it and keep your device up and running to full capacity. If you're having issues with Siri, no worries. I got you covered there. If you're having issues with, well, just anything, if you need to go in and fix your profile name, stuff like that, it's very simple to do. I can walk you through those steps as well. So I do know a lot about iOS. I do know a lot about iPhones. And before I decided to go to take college courses, I did in fact do a lot of stuff on iOS way before I even went to school for IT. So I've been, like I said, with iOS devices, Androids. I've been doing this for well over 15 years. So I do know a lot about these type of devices, the functions and so forth. Settings, no worries. Now, if you have Siri responses, you can definitely switch those over to automatic, which I definitely do recommend. If you if you do reset all your settings, go into Siri first. Actually, go into your security first before you do all that, which is you can find through your settings, your security. We'll say like facial ID and stuff like that if your device is set up for that, or you can also go through, yeah, basically all your security settings will be right here in your Face ID, stuff like that, passwords and other type of miscellaneous type stuff. You can switch your code from a 6-digit down all the way. You can reduce that down to 4. It's very simple to do. Just go to advanced options, which should be a display right there in the lower to mid segment of your screen. Just click on that, and you can also reduce that down to 4 from 6. Now your Siri settings. Let's talk about that. Now, when you update your device, you won't exactly have to go in and manually reset everything because your device will be set right there. Okay, so we're going to find Siri. Okay, so for example, now to find Siri, let me go ahead and close this up, take this off the charger. Go right here to settings, bottom right. We're going to look for Siri, which is right here. Siri responses, talk to Siri. And of course, you're definitely going to want to place this right here in the very center where it says, "Hey Siri." Okay. So now that we've got that already set up, now we're going to go to Siri responses. And right here is where you can set that to automatic. As you can see right there in the top segment of the screen, right down below the bezel, Siri responses, and it's set for automatic. And just to let you know, I don't have any special effects or anything set up here on the live stream. So what you're seeing is what I'm showing you in real time. Very simple stuff to do. Bluetooth is enabled by default. So if you have any type of Bluetooth devices, just go into those devices and click pair. And that should pair up to any type of wireless Bluetooth device that you may possibly have, like wireless or Bluetooth speakers and stuff like that. Pass ID codes right here. Just enter your code. And these are the functions right here. You can switch. You can also change your passcode if need be. Scroll down, you'll see where it says change passcode and reformat that. But there are a lot of do's and don'ts when it comes to phones that have built-in eSIMs. If you don't know exactly how to program one of those, which means you're going to have all the information to your Apple account, your Apple ID, which is basically your email, password, stuff like that. You're going to come across something that says eSIM. Now, if you delete that eSIM, your phone will become inoperative. And basically what I mean by inoperative, which means not working. Your device will not work if you delete the eSIM. Because with the SIM card, that's what completes your ability to call, your ability to text, search the web. That is something you really do not want to do, because then if you do happen to call, it's going to go straight to your provider. And they're going to have to set up your eSIM. They're going to have to send you a code. You're going to have to enter that code in. And the vast majority of the times, some of those codes are time sensitive. So if they're not entered within a certain time frame, once that expires, your phone is inoperative until they send you a code and you enter that within a certain time frame. If it's done in the correct time frame and your phone accepts that, your phone will progress to the next stage. So then again, you're going to have to sign back into your Apple account. You're going to have to re-enter your Apple ID plus password, and you're going to have to enter your password in a second time to confirm it. And then once all that's confirmed, once all that's said and done, that may take anywhere from 10 to possibly 15 minutes. Then after that, your phone will be back up and running. But if you do happen to restart your phone, if you do have to you do have to hard reset your device, collect everything from your cloud storage. Because it's almost equivalent to using a laptop, or it's almost equivalent to using a computer, to where you just basically do a cloud install. That right there, everything that you've saved, everything that you've backed up will go right back to your device. You won't lose your contacts. You won't lose messages, nothing. All that is all stored in your SIM card. No matter if it's a SIM card that you can physically remove, or if it's in fact an eSIM, you can, if you had a different device, like another iPhone, say for instance, iPhone 14, and you have an iPhone 14 here, you can put those together and transfer data from one device to the other, as long as they're within range, side by side. It goes a lot faster because it sends it all through, it transfers all that through it sends all that via Bluetooth. So all that will be transferred from one device to the other. And you don't exactly have to have a wire. You can use that with a wireless connection. You don't exactly have to have cellular data to be able to transfer from one device to the other. So again, if you have questions about your iPhone, feel free to leave a comment over here in the chats, or feel free to drop a comment right down below in that wonderful comment section. I'll be checking the comments at the end of the live stream. And again, hopefully I can get these videos uploaded. So therefore, I'm not losing my place right here. And therefore, I can just kind of pick back up right where I left off and go from there to further assist everyone who's having issues with their device. And now with computers, it doesn't matter if it's a desktop, doesn't matter if it's a laptop, doesn't matter if it's even so much as a thermostat. A lot of these devices have what they call IoT. It's basically got an IoT, Internet of Things. So between one iPhone to the next, it's basically got an IoT, Internet of Things. So you can transfer whatever from one device to the other, but there's no guarantee that a lot of your stuff, like your apps, are going to be transferred from one device to the other. That is not exactly 110% guaranteed. You might lose some apps, you might lose some data. So just keep that in mind. Because if you don't ask questions, you're not going to get answers. And as at the end of the day, as I always say, closed mouths don't get fed. The more you know, the more you grow. So this is not exactly the first time I ever became somebody's personal tech. So when my dad got, okay, and how all this started out, the first person that I was a tech for was my dad. When he got one of those Obama phones, I was the one that programmed it for him. I was the one who used my internet to set his phone up. After I got his phone programmed and up and going, I made a phone call. I called my device to make sure his phone was functioning properly. Success. Then I texted. I showed him how to text. Sent a text to my phone. Success. Unfortunately, he did not have internet access because he had one of the older phones that was not capable of using the internet. Which he said specifically, he said he didn't care if he had internet. He just wanted to make sure that he could talk and text. So I set his phone up. He had an issue with his device. I took care of that issue. And my dad, I was basically the tech for my dad. So so that was my first well, even though he's my dad, I would still say that was my first client. So he was happy. I was glad that I was able to program his device, get it up and going. No problem. No issues. Fully functional. The way he wanted it is the way that he got it. And I did not charge him a dime. So if you guys are having issues with your device and you happen to see me live streaming, feel free to let me know on the live stream and I will walk you through every single thing step by step. And I will get you back up and I'll get you back up and running in no time flat. So if in fact you happen to find this live stream useful, Be sure to hit that thumbs up, smash that heart button if you're not yet subscribed to the channel. Again, go ahead and get subscribed for more content, and be sure to turn on all those wonderful bell notifications so therefore you'll be notified each and every single time I live stream, because I do upload videos 3 times a week. That's Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays from 8 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. But the latest I can be on is at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, depending on how many people we have in chats. It depends on how long I stay on the live stream. Now, if you're looking for a way to activate your Do Not Disturb mode, it is very simple. I have mine enabled right now. Scroll down. Actually, no. What you do is go up here to your top right-hand corner, swipe down where that little bar is, and go to where it says Focus. Mine is enabled. Now I just disabled my Do Not Disturb. So that prevents people from calling you at certain times. Like if you, like, per se, if you don't want somebody calling you after 10 o'clock p.m., just for time examples, just press the Do Not Disturb button. They won't be able, they're not going to be able to, they're not going to be able to call you, because with the Do Not Disturb is almost telling somebody, hey, I don't take calls at this time. But it's very simple, ladies and gentlemen. If you do have an iPhone, the Do Not Disturb button is very effective. So again, go up here to the top right-hand side of your screen. You'll see a little white bar across there. Just swipe down, press focus, and the very top one is your Do Not Disturb. So once that lights up and it's completely white, that means that your Do Not Disturb is in fact enabled. You can also set up personal. You can also set up your sleep time, your sleep schedule, and you can also set up times that if you're at work or something like that, you can also set that. You can also set that up there as well. But your Do Not Disturb is basically a separate thing of all your different selections right here on your screen display. So there are going to be some changes when iOS 27 does roll out. Again, their set schedule is set for September 14th. However, if you guys would like, I will do a live stream. Well, matter of fact, I'll probably save that update for a live stream. So then once I jump on, I will do the initial update right here on the live stream, right here on the channel, which I don't really like to leave things like that unattended. As soon as I get an update, I'm one of those type of people that I have to get it updated right then and right there. But for that, specific thing, I will show you guys. I've I've actually done an iOS update on stream. So it's very simple to do. And again, I'll show you guys how to do that. So right here, bottom right hand side, click on your settings, which is that little gear icon. Scroll up, and you're going to look for general, which is right here. Software update, right here. And it says right here that iOS is up to date. If you're not running iOS 26.6.1, you're not running the updated version, which means your previous version is currently out of date. So that will also help with the security in your device as well. Which means Apple no longer supports the older update, which means not the updates, which means that Apple does not support older software. And I do believe that iOS is currently into the mid or possibly later versions of the beta testing, which is stage 2 beta testing. Possibly, maybe stage 3 or 4. I don't know exactly what version that it's in right now, but I will definitely keep you guys up to date, let you know what's going on, and hopefully I can get more information out to you about the next update when I happen to find out that information here on the live stream. So hopefully this will actually, in fact, help you guys be able to stay up to date and know more about more of the features, more of the security and stuff like that. But right now, with the last update, that was basically more of bug fixes and security fixes. So if you update your device and you notice that it's kind of skipping or stuttering, then you'll know for a fact that it's a software issue. And no need to worry, no need to panic, because over time they will create a patch note to fix any minor discrepancies coming out with the new updates. So hopefully this does help you out quite a bit. If it does, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Or let's get a hashtag in the chats, 2 thumbs up if this does in fact help you out. If you are in fact an iOS user, this is for iOS and iOS only, but if you also have an Android device, don't worry. I will make another video on Android as well. So now the simple thing for Android users, if you have an Android device and you are basically wanting to reboot your system, power down your device, press your power button, your volume up, your volume down. Keep all those pressed in for approximately 10 to 15 seconds, and that right there will bring up a bootloader menu. Now, if you don't know what you're doing, I don't advise you to use that, because you could seriously screw something up in your phone. There was a neighbor of mine who had a girlfriend. She hasn't had that phone active in years. The only thing that I needed was the password to the email. I was at home when I did that. I was going to program her phone to be in full use, meaning that they didn't have to take it to a provider, because I know how to do all that. I can program an outdated device, and I can also update all the software. And it was a smartphone, by the way. I pulled up the bootloader menu, did this, did that, went to certain areas. But if you do have an older device and you want that stuff set up, let me know, and I can get that older phone programmed, but I'm also going to need to have access to a password to that email. It's And by the way, if I do stuff like this, all that information remains confidential. It's between me and the person that I'm setting that up for, which that other person I'm basically going to classify as client. So that will be confidential and no information will be released to anyone else without written consent. If a person is asking, oh, by the way, do you know this person's, do you know this person? What are you doing for this person? I can't, I'm not going to tell you that because it's client privileged information. I can't tell you. I'm not going to tell you that. So it's between me and the person that I'm setting their devices up for. So if it's between one person to another, and if some random third party individual comes in and asks, hey, by the way, how did you set up their computer? Again, I'm not going to tell you that because that's privileged information. That's between me and my client. So no matter if it's a friend, relative, or you get the idea. I will not volunteer information, and I'm not going to give another person any information specifically if it's pertaining to the work that I'm doing for that person that brings their device to me. So if they say, "Hey, could you get this set up? Could you get this back up and running?" Absolutely. And so if say a third random say for instance, for if a third person comes up and says, "Hey, can you show me how to do this? Could you show me how to get access to their system?" First thing I'm going to say is no. Not without the prior approval of the other individual. So if a person is looking to get information like that, it's actually going to have to be a handwritten consent form. Other than that, I'm not going to provide any further information. So what I do for that client is particularly confidential. So that's the way I operate. So if somebody comes up and says, "Hey, I'm just here to pick up a computer for so and so," I'm not going to release that device to somebody who's not related because I'm going to make absolutely certain that that person's privacy is well protected and how they want their system set up. That is also going to be protected. Because security and privacy are something I take very seriously. If it's documented or undocumented, either way, I will not provide information under any circumstances. Because I want to make absolutely certain that that person's privacy and their security is well protected. So I digress. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I definitely do want to thank you again for being a part of the live stream. However, it is 9 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the night. And again, I will try to be back this coming Thursday, unless there's weather conditions that's not going to be too permissible. So again, I definitely do want to thank you guys for being a part of the channel, and all my subscribers out there. I definitely do want to give you a big special shout out. All my viewers, also big shout out to you as well. Thank you guys again for making this happen. And all my viewers, again, big special shout out to you. Moderators, every one of you did a fantastic job tonight. Big shout out to all my moderators as well. So, as always, ladies and gentlemen, again, I definitely do want to thank you all for coming to hang out with me here on the channel. And as always, be safe, stay sharp, stay frosty, and most of all, stay vigilant. Until next time, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.